Good morning, good morning, good morning. Check out my new hairdo. Oh, baby. It's a new hairdo. I got tired of it. I looked at my old hairdo and I was like, man, I look like a little bitch. I don't look like I'm a fucking savage trying to take on the world. I just look like some random ass, basic ass dude. So here we are, fucking full on just fury, baby. Fury, I'm here to make some money. Good morning, good morning. We're a little live, a little early today. We're still here in Orlando, so it's easy to wake up a little early. And, well, I've been up since about 5 o'clock. Went to the gym, put in the work, did the little leg day, doing some squats, and but about an hour on the treadmill. It was it's always a mission, always a mission. Good morning, good morning. Woo! I don't want cauliflower. I do not want cauliflower. Everyone's like, what do you think, you're an MMA fighter now? Well, little did you know, it's me versus the market, baby, every day. Fucking fighting to make the money in the market. It's me versus you. Me versus, maybe not you guys, but somebody out there. It's me versus them. I want their money. Give me your money. Give me your money. I got to fight for it. Today, another day, I think another day of chop. And I'm not going to get too excited. I want you guys right now to just accept the fact that there might not be very many good opportunities today to make money, because we know tomorrow is the FOMC meeting. We do have numbers coming out today, 10 a.m. Jolt job opening reports, which I was posting on Twitter talking about this over last night, talking about, I was driving around Orlando, and like everywhere that you drive by, there are signs for that they're hiring. Like literally every single place that you go by, there's a sign saying that they're hiring. So it's interesting because there's, I would say there's probably more people than ever in Orlando, Florida here, but there's just not enough people to work, or people aren't working. Maybe everyone's trying to be a YouTuber now. That's the problem. Everybody's trying to be an influencer. The problem is, if everyone's an influencer, who's going to pay to buy the influencer stuff? Someone's got to buy the stuff. So if we're influencing people to buy stuff and everybody's just an influencer, well, who's going to buy the crap that we're selling? We can't all be influencers. There can only be only so many influencers in the world. Someone's got to buy. Not everyone can get everything for free. All right. We got about 2 minutes here till 9 a.m. We got the numbers coming out today, 10 a.m. Jolt's job numbers. So I would hope, I wouldn't say hope, but I would think that maybe we'll kind of see what happens at open, but thinking as of right now that it'll probably be a pretty choppy day. Maybe not even choppy, maybe just not really going anywhere. Because if you look at the charts right now, the problem is, like looking here at the 15-minute chart, this is the NASDAQ. I mean, we're pretty much still inside of yesterday's price action. That 13,300 area, here we are once again. That's not a good sign. Yesterday we basically opened up at 13,300, and guess what? Once again today, we're opening up at this level. So not a good sign in terms of like expecting good price action. We had a little push up overnight up to the 35 area. But other than that, not much really going on. We're just pretty much going sideways, getting ready for the FOMC interest rate decision. So kind of just got to expect the worst, expect basically that today is going to be a choppy day. And I think, that's all you can really do at this point. So right now we got pivot points to look at here, 13,312 on the NASDAQ to the downside, 253, the high up there 363. So right now we're in that middle pivot and not much to really report on. The ES is actually down more than the NASDAQ right now. The ES kind of grinding a little lower. Remember yesterday, the ES was actually ahead of the NASDAQ. Right now, the NASDAQ's ahead of the ES. On the ES right now, we just bounced off that 174 pivot. Remember yesterday, that 71 pivot was there. So we're pretty much like in that same exact area that we were yesterday. And like I said, it's just, it's easier to just kind of expect the worst and like not put the pressure on yourself. Today might be a day where we just don't take any trades. You know, like that's totally fine. I think anybody that's traded for more than a year or just traded for maybe more than 6 months knows that there are days where it's just not worth it. The risk is not worth it. The chop is not worth it. So we'll sit back. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to say either way if I'm going to trade or not. I mean, I know I'm going to trade, but sometimes not taking a trade is a trade. People think that if you're in a trade, that's like the only way to trade. But really, not taking a trade in itself is also a trade, right? Like if you don't take a trade, that's a trade, right? That makes sense? Does that make sense? I think so. And right now, the ES sitting here at the 74s. I don't expect a big move down or up. I see people talking about, someone just said that 4,181 area could be the fade, but I don't expect that. I think we'll be pretty much in this range today once again. I mean, after yesterday's price action, you're expecting something very similar today, maybe a push up, maybe a drop at open, and then a push back up kind of into this area. The thing is, like the big players, the big banks, the big, big funds, blah, 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 like they're not making big moves the day before FOMC. I mean, no one's like putting big trades on the day before FOMC, even though we pretty much know they're going to raise. I don't expect them to not raise, but obviously it comes down to the forward kind of what they see for the rest of the year. I was actually looking yesterday at some CDs right now. Some CD, some credit. What is that? Credit deposit? Deposit? What does a CD stand for? I think it's credit deposit, right? Fuck. I didn't go to financial school. What does a CD stand for? Yeah, controlled dangerous. No, what? Controlled dangerous substance. That's what a CD is. Yeah, a certificate of deposit. There you go. I knew it was something to do. Oh God, it just shows you how much I don't invest or save money, I guess. Ooh, not a good sign. Just some YouTuber out here just spending all my money buying eggs and steak every day. Protein powder, baby. Protein powder. If you guys haven't already hit that like button, let's go, baby. I gotta turn it on. We're not even hitting the likes right now. I gotta show how many likes. STW is 11%. What is that? What is STW? It's a STWD. STWD. Is SSTWD a stock, Sage? Or a fund? ETF? I don't even see it. SSS. Starwood Property Trust. I don't know. We can talk about that later. Right now, looking here at the markets. Like I said, expecting some choppy action. Once again, you can see the overnight, even the overnight was pretty choppy here. We had a push up there to the 25s right there. A little push up there at 3 a.m. to the 34s. And just kind of ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Bam, 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 bam. It's weird waking up. I talked about this before. It's weird waking up so early, like hours before the market opens. When I'm here in Florida, I wake up at like 5 or 6 in the morning, and then I've got 3 or 4 hours to get ready for the market. In Hawaii, I just wake up and get right into it, and it's a totally kind of different experience. Right now, the ES pulling back here, 75. That pivot point at the 74s right now. You can see the ES selling off since about 7 o'clock this morning. The dollar going straight up right now. The dollar is rocketing straight up right now. So the ES, the NASDAQ kind of pulling back here. We saw some kind of right now, the dollar, I would say, kind of trending higher last few days, kind of popping, dropping, but overall still kind of pushing up there. So we'll see what happens here at open. Right now, looking at the book map, this is the NASDAQ. We got some levels, some liquidity sitting there at the 05s, and then you got the 10s and the 15s. Most of the liquidity right now is sitting there at the 05 level, so kind of acting as a magnet, keeping that price action pretty much right in that area there. It's funny, right there at that 13,300 area, pretty much the same exact setup as yesterday going into open here. Yesterday had some pretty insane chops, so we'll see what happens here. On the ES right now, 76 is there to the upside, 79 has about 163 contracts to the downside. Some liquidity, a lot of liquidity down there at the 170s. The most liquidity right now sitting at the 170s and then 160s. So majority of the liquidity right now on the ES to the downside here. Is that a clue? What do you guys think? Is that a clue? Or we got a clue here? We got a clue, maybe. What are they telling us? Telling us that possibly we're going to pull back here or what? We'll see what happens here at open. Right now, just getting ready right now, pulling back here, 75, that pivot point at the 74s on the ES today. Yesterday, the ES was leading for most of the morning and then basically sold off in the afternoon, where the NASDAQ kind of bounced around but also sold off there. But we'll see how this plays out. Like I said, job numbers, JOLTS job openings coming out at 10 a.m. I think there's some other news as well coming out here. Some kind of unimportant news, but yeah, there's factory orders as well coming out there at 10 a.m. So we got factory orders, durable goods, and the JOLTS job openings. We've also got the New Zealand Global Dairy Trade Price Index coming out at 11. If you guys are interested in that, to find out the Global Dairy Trade Price Index. I've always wanted to know about the Global Dairy Trade Price Index. Very informative numbers that come out there, coming out at 11 o'clock today for New Zealand. And it's funny, like, kind of looking at some of the other country stuff going on there. South Africa came out with total vehicle sales this morning. Was down, previously it was 50,000. and the actual today reported 37,000. So total vehicle sales down in South Africa. I guess that's a sign, a recession sign maybe. And the NASDAQ bouncing around here at the 290s right now. 290s on the NASDAQ. Like I said, I'm just going to be sitting back here waiting and watching for the... I mean, we might not even get a trade today. I think the best plan right now is just to accept that today is going to be choppy. If something looks good, you know, we get a good move, we'll take it, but no pressure. We don't have to trade. There is no rule that you have to trade every day. People think because the market's open, you got to trade, but that's like the worst thing you can do. Knowing that we're pretty much like, look at this price action. It's just going sideways. The VWAP for 24 hours now has just basically been there between the 90s and 13,300 area here on the NASDAQ, basically. You can see even yesterday, I mean, it's just, you know, if you look at like the daily chart right now, there's a daily chart. Look at the daily chart here. Yesterday's candle, doji candle, we're sitting right there at resistance, 13,400 area up there. I don't expect this to break out today, that's for sure. I would expect, if anything, maybe more of a pullback here, or just absolutely no movement. But on the daily chart, definitely looking a lot more like a pullback potential. You're looking at like 258 here on the NASDAQ possible. That low of day yesterday was like 260, 258 level. Yeah, 258.75 here on the NASDAQ. So we'll see what happens here at open. We got some pivot points to think about as well there on the NASDAQ. That pivot point on the NASDAQ, 312 down there. And then from there, we got a pivot down there at the 253s. So that pivot point on the NASDAQ right now, right in line with that kind of low of day yesterday. So could kind of play out that way. We'll see. Right now, like I said, doji candle yesterday. Look at the volume yesterday, pretty low. I'm expecting today's volume to also be low. So it's not a good sign looking at the daily chart here. If we go to the hourly chart, kind of same thing. I mean, there's not much to look at here. You're just going sideways still. That 13,300 area. Everybody waiting to find out. Tomorrow, 2 p.m. FOMC meeting. I'll probably only live stream tomorrow around 2 p.m. I don't really see any reason to even trade the morning. Like, I'm just not even gonna look at the morning action tomorrow morning. I'll probably just like go do something. I don't know. Spend the morning with my Nana or something. But yeah, right now, not much going on there on the hourly chart, and it doesn't get any better. The more you get lower the time frame, it doesn't get any better here. So right now, the VWAP pretty much at that 13,300 level, and we'll see how this plays out. VWAP right there. I mean, look at the VWAP. VWAP's just been basically flat all morning long here. Market kind of bouncing around, a little choppy action, but really no significant moves. And we'll wait to see what happens here. We got about 17 minutes till the market opens. If you guys haven't already hit that like button, you know what to do. We need more likes, more likes, more likes. We need at least, come on. Come on, people. Come on, people. Hit it. Hit it. I cut my hair to get 1,000 likes today. Come on. I did it for you guys. I needed to be more streamlined. Whee! More money, more problems. I did not lose a bet. I cut my own fucking hair because I'm a fucking man and do what I want. I want to look in the mirror and look at myself. I'm like, God damn, Patrick, you're a savage. You're a goddamn killer. You're a natural burn killer. Born killer, baby. It's me versus everybody. Me versus the market. Me versus all the haters and everybody else out there. I want your money. Give me your money, baby. That's what you got to think about. For me to make money, someone's got to lose money. So it's a dog-eat-dog world. We're not here for feelings. We're not here to make people happy. We're not here to make you feel good about yourself. We're here to fucking make money. If you want to make yourself feel good or you want to feel happy or whatever bullshit, emotion you want, you're in the wrong place. Go watch a different live stream. We got one goal and one goal only. Peak performance, baby. Peak performance. Money, money, money. Right now, again on the book map here on the NASDAQ, that 90 level, not much really to the upside. So very similar here. It's interesting. All that liquidity to the downside right now here on the NASDAQ. Same kind of setup here with the ES. I got a feeling that we might pull back here at open. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's not looking too hot right now for the bulls. Not looking too hot right now. We'll see. No rush, but all that liquidity to the downside is normally not a good sign. And there's just like literally no liquidity to the upside here. They just put some liquidity there at the O2s, but majority of the liquidity down to the downside. So that'll obviously act as a magnet to the price action here. This morning, this is the best. So this morning, I'm out, going for a little walk. Did a little workout this morning. I'm like walking. They have this little like park thing by my house here in Orlando, and I'm walking around the park. And it's funny because I've actually had an interaction with this guy before, but there's this big fat guy. He's got a dog, and he's like walking his dog. He's smoking a cigarette, and I'm kind of just like watching the guy. I'm not really like watching the guy, but I'm like kind of just like looking over at him, and I see him like kind of put his cigarette out, and there's literally, I swear to God, there is a trash can within 2 feet. This guy is standing 2 feet from a trash can, like a very nice trash can too, a very easy, like I could literally flick if I was smoking a cigarette, I could flick a cigarette into that trash can, no problem. This motherfucker, this guy, literally drops the cigarette on the floor, 2 feet from the trash can, 2 feet from the trash can. I was mind blown, honestly. I was literally just mind blown at that point. I'm like, well, I have no faith in humanity anymore. It's just like, it's unneat. Sometimes I wonder, am I the biggest idiot in the world, or is everybody else an idiot? I just can never figure this out. Sometimes I wonder, what am I doing wrong? Like, why do I care? The best part is I'm like walking around the park. I pick up trash. I picked up like 2 cans of Coke, picked up some just like random plastic, threw it away. Not a big deal, whatever. I'm not trying to say I'm like, Mother Teresa by any means, but like I'm out there picking up trash, throwing it away, not my trash. And this guy, literally smoking a cigarette, just throws a cigarette on the ground 2 feet from a trash can. It's mind-blowing. It's fucking mind-blowing. And then yesterday I went to Chipotle. I love Chipotle. I do. I fucking love Chipotle. But Chipotle is letting me down hard. This is how like petty I am. I go to the first Chipotle, the POS, like the checkout system's not working. So I walk in, they're like, oh, we're only doing online orders. And I'm like, okay. Well, I'm in the store, but I guess online only. Cool. Okay. So I was like, I was over it. So I just left that one because there's like another Chipotle like 5 minutes away. So I went to the other Chipotle. And I walk in, and they're literally like a sign that like they're out of like all this stuff. They don't have anything in like whatever. There's a huge line of people. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So there's one more Chipotle 5 minutes away. So I'm going to my third Chipotle, right? The third Chipotle within 30 minutes. I'm driving around Orlando because that's how crazy I am. But I'm like, I wanted Chipotle. I'm like, I'm going to get Chipotle. I'm here in Orlando. We don't have Chipotle in Hawaii. So I'm like, I got to get some Chipotle. So I go to the third Chipotle. I walk into the third Chipotle, and I walk up, I start ordering. I'm like, can I get a bowl? They're like, yeah, what meat do you want? And I look, all the meat is literally like, it's like empty and like scraped dry. And it's all like, just the burnt stuff left. And I'm looking at the woman. I'm like, is that a real question? I'm like, there is no meat in those containers. There is only burnt crisp. Like, are you really, like, you were serious about serving me that? You were going to like literally scoop that onto my bowl? Like that's what you were, that was a serious question. And she goes, oh, well, we're waiting on more steak and chicken. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll have to wait for the fucking steak now. And I'm watching the guy cutting the steak. And I swear to God, if this guy moved any slower, he would be moving in reverse. I never seen somebody cut meat slower than this guy. And I understand, like, people work at Chipotle, they probably hate their jobs, whatever. Like, it's not the best job in the world. But like, if you're gonna go to work and you're gonna work, like if you're gonna go to work, you might as well like just enjoy it a little bit, you know? You might as well just do a good job. I'm like, hey, if I'm gonna be there for 8 hours a day, whatever it is, I'm cooking at Chipotle, why not just like, why not put a little bit of, you know, pride into it? A little bit of like, all right, hey, you know, I'm here anyway, so I might as well just try to at least, you know, cut the food a little quicker than this guy. It took me like 10 minutes of waiting at Chipotle to get more steak. And everybody in the line, same thing. Everyone's waiting for chicken and steak at this point. And the guy cutting the steak, I swear to God, like he couldn't have cut it any slower. I literally was like, I'm standing there like, I could go back there right now and cut all that steak faster than he could cut one piece of steak. I get it. Like I said, like, you know, people are miserable. They hate their job, whatever it is. But like, I don't know. Maybe that's just why I'm winning and I'm not working at Chipotle and that guy's working at Chipotle. But I just feel like if I was going to work at Chipotle, like if I had to, I would at least like just be good at it. If I always tell people, like, no matter what, if I started working at McDonald's, I'd be the best fry cook there ever was. And then like after one day of working there, they'd make me the manager. So I'm kind of screwed either way. The problem with just being so good looking and just so good at everything else. I don't know. Again, it's like the question I always ask myself, am I the biggest idiot in the world or is everybody else an idiot? I just cannot figure this out. What is wrong with the world that we're living in today? We're living in a very scary place. The world is a very scary, scary place right now. Just nobody has any idea anymore. Just no pride, no self, you know, respect, no respect for anything. No community. There's no more families anymore. It's all just fucking, you can just be whatever gender you want to be and just whatever. Just, you want to be a Pokemon, be a Pokemon. The idea of like being a man and woman and like raising children and like being good people, that no longer is like the goal of America. The goal of America is just to be Pokemon or whatever Furby you want to be and not work and live off the government, baby. Welcome to Biden's America. I'm excited for the future. We're fucked. America's fucked. We are literally screwed. We're fucked. Oh God. My Nana's yesterday, she told me, she's like, hey, you know, I'm really proud of you for not cursing as much on the live stream. I was like, oh really? Oh really? You want to challenge me to that, huh? Okay. Right now, the NASDAQ pushing back up right here, back above the 13,300 area. We dipped down there to the 90s, back up there now. We got some more liquidity coming in here on the book map right now. The starting to look a little bit better going into open right now. You can see how they started putting liquidity back to the upside. Market started moving back up there. So we're pretty much right there. The VWAP, VWAP, baby. So we'll see what happens. Subway's got no bread. Oh man. Martino, that's a joke right there, my friend. They got one thing. They got one goal at Subway. Make bread every day, baby. Still working on getting your $5 footlong refund. I remember when you used to go to Subway, it's $5 for footlong. Now it's like $20 for a footlong. Inflation is real. Inflation is so real that now Subway $5 footlong is $20. Remember those old ads back in the day with Jared that came out? It was all fake, you know, by the way. The Jared was he didn't eat Subway every day. Oh no, we got some data coming out here at 10 a.m. today. We got Jolt's job openings. I'm thinking that probably the best plan here at open is just to kind of sit back unless something really looks good, unless we get a good setup here. But right now, knowing that we're going to have those numbers at 10 a.m., expecting some choppy action here at open. Like I said earlier, we're pretty much just in this range from yesterday. We're pretty much right where we were yesterday at open. I mean, we are literally going to be opening up right where we opened up yesterday. We opened yesterday pretty much right at this level. Remember this 15-minute candles yesterday, just terrible price action. And then finally got something to happen here in kind of around 11 o'clock. So we'll see what happens. Right now, the market just going sideways, absolutely sideways right now. The dollar store is $1.50 now? Really? Oh my God. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. The world's in trouble. Inflation is real. Don't worry, everybody. The government will print more money and give everybody free money. I love that people like get excited when they're like, "Hey, I'm so excited. The government's gonna give me $1,000." I'm like, you know that $1,000 is just like you've already like that's just your money coming back to you, right? I don't know. I saw today that the government's gonna be in a $3 trillion deficit with the current budget. I don't understand how do you make a budget that's $3 trillion over? Like if I was like, all right, you know, I make $10,000 per, let's say I make $10,000 per month. And I was like, okay, my budget to live on is $50,000. I'm going to spend $50,000, but I only make $10,000. I just don't get it. How do these politicians not understand how budgets work? If you make $1 trillion, you can't spend $3 trillion. But I guess, you know, they don't care. It's not their money. They're just going to spend our money and then print more money. And then I saw today on Twitter a congresswoman. She sold Silicon Valley Bank, or FRC, like the day before it crashed 80%. And then she bought JP Morgan the day before they bought FRC. I mean, I just don't get it. How do these politicians get away with this shit? And nobody says anything. It's just like, well, you know, I still, if it's the question remains the same. It's like, if a politician gets paid, I don't know, I think a senator gets paid like $100,000 a year, $120,000, whatever it is. How is it that all these senators and all these politicians are becoming millionaires making $100,000 a year? Maybe they're trading off insider information. I don't know. Like if you look back at COVID, you look at all the politicians that bought stake in different companies during COVID or before COVID, or they sold their positions before COVID. Like the amount of manipulation and just fraud and insider trading and just insane shit that goes on in America right now. But it's like if you're a citizen, if you're like a taxpayer, you just get like, imagine if I got caught insider trading. Like imagine if I sold a bunch of stock the day before the stock dropped 80%. Like, do you not think that they would be like, Patrick, you're going to jail for life. You're going to get fined millions of dollars. But if a politician does, it's like, well, they're public servants, you know? It's okay. They're allowed to basically just do whatever they want. The law does not apply to the people making the laws, I guess. I don't know. We're living in a very, very interesting times, my friend. I think, like I said, it's just, sometimes it would be nice to just be a lot more ignorant to it all. Just live in a bubble. I'm gonna move back to Hawaii and go work on a farm. Turn off all social media. Just work on a farm, picking fruit all day. I might be a lot happier, honestly. It might be the only thing that's gonna save me. Go, maybe start a chicken farm. I'll start a chicken farm. That's what I'll do. There's all the wild chickens in Hawaii. I can just catch them all and then sell them to people. Could you imagine? I like quit YouTube, I quit trading, and I just start a chicken farm. You guys see me one day like on the news. YouTuber starts organic chicken farm. Oh man. Sometimes that might be the only way for me to find happiness, is just to turn off everything. Turn off YouTube, turn off the social media, and just walk away. Go live a simple life. And then just die one day. Life would be so much easier. And again, I don't even know why I care. Maybe that's the issue. Like, why do I care? Why do I care that the politicians are screwing everybody over and we're just constantly getting fucked left and right? Why do I care? No one else cares, so why do I care? I don't know. I'm not having a crisis. We're just talking, waiting for the market to open up here. Here we go. 1 minute to the bell. Like I said, we got that 13,300 area here on the NASDAQ to keep an eye on. And going into open right now, watching the ES. The ES kind of pushing back up. We got that downward trend, that 74 level on the ES trying to hold up right now. Let's see what happens here. We start to get a move back up. Everything kind of trending lower here on the 15-minute chart and going sideways into open. We got about 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Let's make some money so we can pay our bills so that the politicians can make more money as well. Well, let's go. We're here to pay the bills. The funny part is it wouldn't even matter. We couldn't even pay the bills if we tried. So why do we even care anymore? Why make money when it's just not real anyway? So many questions, so little time. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The market, oh, little early. Now the market's open. Here we go. All right. Pulling up the book map here, right there at the VWAP on the NASDAQ right now. Little dippy down there, 95s. Dippy here. Some liquidity sitting at the 305s. Both the ES and the NASDAQ pulling back right now. The NASDAQ down to the 92s there. And the ES NASDAQ trying to push up here. The chop is real. Market selling off down there to the 90s now, 87, 85s. The dump is happening. Whew. Look at this chop right now. It's insane. ES, NASDAQ down there to the 84, 85s right now, dipping. They got to save it. They got to try to save it here if they're going to try to bounce it off the 84s. So they don't want to get below that level. That was that kind of low from the morning so far. The NASDAQ ripping back up right now. See if we're going to push back up to that VWAP area. 13,300 again. Possible. Back up there to the 90s now on the NASDAQ. Got an iceberg seller right there, 92s. And look at that. Back up. The chop is real. VWAP at the 300s here. Look at that chop. Oh my God. See if they're going to push up there to the 15s next here on the NASDAQ. They got to go quickly though. Or they're going to chop it back down. It's got to get above 10 to go right to the 15s here. And there's the chop. Like I said, very choppy action. Expecting that choppy action here with the FOMC and everything going on. So market bouncing around here at the 300 area. That 15 area kind of looking interesting up there on the book map right now. If they're going to try to get up there, that liquidity there on the NASDAQ. But just stuck here at the VWAP right now at the 300s. The ES right now pulling back, 70s on the ES. The NASDAQ just sitting right there at the VWAP right now. The NASDAQ looking a little stronger than the ES. Remember yesterday, it was the opposite. We had the ES, the NASDAQ kind of, the ES was bulling out while the NASDAQ was not really following. And that 15-minute chart looking a little bit better on the NASDAQ right now. Trying to get this push up here towards the 15s possible. All that liquidity sitting there at the 15s. They'll take it out possibly and then dip it back down. Let's see. The ES selling down there to the 60, 70 level. The NASDAQ right here at the VWAP now. Will they sell it down below 300? The 80 level down there, 280 on the NASDAQ right now. Liquidity down there. Right now just stuck here at the VWAP. That 15 level still sitting there on the book map right now. And there's that push up there towards the 15s. We were talking about that 15 level. There's that dip back down. Again, testing that 300 level. The chop is real. Just staying out of this right now, my friends. Like I said, we got numbers coming out 10 a.m., so don't go chasing waterfalls. That 280 all the way down there right now. Will they sell it down hard into the 80s now? What's funny is we literally talked about this exact move happening right here, pushing up there to the 15s and then dumping it back down, and that's exactly what they're doing right now, down there to the 90s. Will they dip it down into the 80s? The ES selling off here, the NASDAQ bouncing around right now at the 90s. 82 down there right now on the book map, the 80s for the NASDAQ. So through the 90s, next into the 80s here. The ES dumping down on the 15-minute chart, the NASDAQ trying to follow now. Will they dip it through the 90s here? Whew. The chop is real. Oh my gosh. Right now, the ES dumping. Look at the ES is going straight down right now. The liquidity there at the 65s and then 62s down there. That first 15-minute candle, whew, it's a ride. It's a ride, baby. That pivot point here on the NASDAQ, you can see that pivot point right there at the 12s acting as resistance. We pushed up there to that 13 area and then pulled back. It's almost like a repeat of yesterday. I don't know if you guys remember yesterday, but very similar price action to yesterday here on the NASDAQ right now. The ES down there to the 70s. I'm just sitting back. I'm going to be just waiting to see what happens when those job numbers come out, 10 a.m. No rush right now to do anything. I like to make money, not lose money, you know? You can see the ES basically in the middle of that 15-minute candle. The NASDAQ in the middle there. The ES at the bottom of that candle. Will the NASDAQ continue to sell through here? Got a bunch of liquidity sitting there at the 80s right now. Just too choppy, though, to really do anything here. The problem is if you get short right here for that move down to the 80s and it squeezes back up to the 300s. I don't really think it's worth it either way. Look at the 1-minute chart right now. Got a lot of mixed signals here. We're below the VWAP. There's that sell down to the 80s. Let's see what happens here. They break it through 80s next. 70s down there. 270s next coming up. And there's that dip down there. The problem is if I would have shorted right here at the 90s for that move down to the 80s, it would have ripped up there. So I'm not even going to sit here and be like, well, I could have got rich off that move. No. Because I know what would happen. I would have gotten short at the 93s and it would have went to 15. Guaranteed. If I would have gotten short right here, it would have went up. So staying out of it for now. Down there to the 70, 80s here on the book map right now. There's a bunch of liquidity sitting there down there, 70s still. Remember earlier we saw all that liquidity to the downside, and here we are now. It was kind of a fake out to the upside, and then sell. That 15-minute candle looking a lot more like the ES candle right now here on the NASDAQ. Down to the lows here in the 70s now. Like I said, waiting to see kind of, you know, what happens here after the 10 a.m. numbers. This is the first 15-minute candle of the day. I mean, not looking pretty right now. Still got about 4 minutes here on that 15-minute candle, so you can see the NASDAQ and the ES kind of catching up to each other, looking very similar now. The NASDAQ for a little bit was kind of trying to push up and got denied there at that pivot there at the 312 area, and now down there at the 70s. Oof. Just keeps going lower. This is going to be hitting that low of day from yesterday soon. That low of day from yesterday down there at that 59.60 level here. The NASDAQ dipping down there. This is that kind of low from the overnight area as well. Will they dip it all the way down to the 60s? Like I said, just waiting. I'm going to go grab a bathroom break real quick. Just waiting here, waiting. Oh. The NASDAQ pushing back up off of that low area, that's 65s right now. Are they going to push this thing all the way back up right now? Oh my gosh. Back to the VWAP again. VWAP right now on the NASDAQ at the 97s here. Huh. Ripping it back up right now. The chop is real. Real right now. The NASDAQ pushing back up there into the 90s and pulling back again here into the 80s. Will they dump it again? And they bounce it off the 80s, back up there to the 90s. Got the VWAP up there at the 300s here. Right now, NASDAQ kind of searching for that 95s right now. There's that little push up there with the 95s. Will they go through 95s? The 300s next. Got the VWAP kind of moving down a little bit. 97s now. So again, pushing up there to the VWAP, getting stuck. And searching for that VWAP now. Got a buy signal there, but I don't trust it by any means. The VWAP is right there. The MACD is bullish, but we'll see what happens here. If they rip this through the VWAP up to the 300s next, there's a bunch of liquidity sitting at the 300s on the book map right now, through the 95s now. $13,300 here on the book map. Sitting up there right now. Right there at the VWAP 97s. The ES trying to push back up after that big dip down. The NASDAQ pushing back up here to the VWAP right now. Hitting that trend line here on the 15-minute charts. You can see that trend line here on the 15-minute chart with the NASDAQ getting stuck there right now. Both the NASDAQ and the ES just looking weak right here. NASDAQ's got to get back above that VWAP if they want to get a move here. And there's that push through the VWAP now. The ES looking very weak here. If you look at the 15-minute chart, the NASDAQ pushed back up, but the ES still sitting down there at the bottoms of that range there. It pushed up into that fair value gap on the 15-minute chart and got denied. So let's see what happens here. If they're going to start to sell it back down. NASDAQ pushing up their 03s again. The ES is not looking very hot. Look at the ES right now. Look at the NASDAQ. That's a pretty big difference in price action right now. It's a big difference in price action here with the NASDAQ and the ES right now. Something tells me that this might be a trap on the NASDAQ. Looks pretty trappy. Unless the NASDAQ's going to start ripping and the ES is going to bounce here. We're pretty much flat right now. I mean, we're market's red 0.05% on the NASDAQ right now. The ES is down 40%. We got numbers coming out in 7 minutes. Numbers in 7 minutes here. The ES right now about to make a new low, or trying to make a new low through that 67 level. ES has liquidity sitting there at 65 and then down there to the 60s. The ES getting some volume right there. They're going to sell it down through the 67s. There's a iceberg seller, 135 contracts, 100 right there, 135 contracts again. Iceberg seller sitting there. We got job reports, job numbers, job openings, Jolt's job openings coming out at 10 a.m. here. So got about 5 minutes till that happens. 5 minutes. And the ES about to make a new low here, or it just made a new low. Not really. It's sitting like right there at 66 now, so now the Nasdaq starting to pull back here. Like I said, did not think that the ES is going to make a new low while the Nasdaq's just bulling out straight to the moon. So kind of was thinking there was a pullback to come. And here we go. Got 4 minutes till the Jolt's job openings comes out. Jolt's job openings. The ES through the 66s now, down there to the 65s, and here goes the Nasdaq to follow. The QQQ stuck there at that pivot point as well. 322 on the Qs here. You can see that 322 level acting as resistance right there. The Nasdaq QQQ right there at the VWAP right now. We got numbers in 3 minutes. 3 minutes till the numbers. Ba-dum-bum-ba-da-bum-ba-da-da-da. We got a pivot point on the Nasdaq right now. Pivot point down there at the 53s. So if we continue to sell through here, there's a good chance of kind of getting down there to that pivot. Right now the low so far around that 66 65 level, so plenty of downside there. 2 minutes till the job numbers. The Nasdaq pulling back hard right now, going into the numbers here. $75 there on the book map now for the Nasdaq. The pivots are set. It's just data. It's just calculations from the move from the previous days. Pivot points. They just use the market move to data calculation. I don't know. The data, man. It's the data, bro. It's, you know, the data stuff. That data, fancy data stuff. The ES down in the 65s. The ES sitting at the lows right now. The Nasdaq is trying to catch up. The 66 low on the Nasdaq there. Through there, you got that next pivot at the 253s. And the numbers coming out here in about 45 seconds. Jolt's job report numbers, job openings. Jolt's, is it going to jolt the market? The $1 million question here. Well, let's see what happens. Jolt, jolt, jolt. You can see the liquidity right now thinning out as those numbers come out. We're thinning out. And let's get ready for it. And the numbers are out. A little jolt right there. It was like a chop back up here to the 300s again. Oh, the jolt. The market's jolting. And the chop continues. That 1 minute chart looking nice and choppy. It's looking choppy. It's a fancy word for choppy. Choppy. You guys like your choppy? Like my chop with the side of choppy. And back down there to the 80s. Will the NASDAQ break the lows here at 66s? The $1 million question, huh? 65.75 being the low on the NASDAQ now. There's that dip down here hard. The ES selling off hard. The NASDAQ following. You know, if the ES is dumping, it's really hard for the NASDAQ to hold up and not start to follow it. So I just don't see how the NASDAQ doesn't break the low of day again. 65 on the NASDAQ here. The ES is just going straight down right now. You can see here right now the ES down there, the 63s, that pivot point on the ES at the 62 level. NASDAQ once again kind of bouncing off of 72, 70s. Oh my gosh. This NASDAQ's nuts. What's crazy is we still haven't even gotten like one good move yet. Like, I mean, we just like have not gotten one decent good move yet. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it trading this crap. This is how you just lose all your money trying to trade this crap. So don't go chasing waterfalls, my friends. I see the dollar dumping. I see that. The NASDAQ dumping here again. Or trying to dump through. 70s holding up right there. Get through the 70s on the NASDAQ. You go down there to the 50s quickly, I think. Look at the ES. Absolutely just going straight down right now. NASDAQ just doesn't want to go. NASDAQ's, no, 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 no. We just want to chop, 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 chop forever. Like I said, I just don't see how the NASDAQ doesn't break the low at 65 there with the ES. Look at everything just dumping right now. How is this not going to dump down there? Down there, the 63s now. There's that break through the lows on the NASDAQ. 60s sitting there on the book map. We're going into the 50s. We break 60 next, obviously. Oh my gosh. It's impressive, actually, how well the NASDAQ's holding up here. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually impressive. It's very impressive, actually. How's it? I don't understand it. It's impressive. How is it doing this? The chop is real. That 60 area on the book map flashing down there doesn't want to get touched. The ES going straight down. NASDAQ, not so much. All right, here we go. Let's get that one more break through the low of day there, 63.75 into the 50s next. Got that pivot point on the NASDAQ down there at the 53s. Oh, NASDAQ. NASDAQ, why you do that? Just couldn't break through that. 63. You. Will they dump it through the 60s here? '63s again. The ES is literally plummeting right now, by the way. If you are trading the ES, it's absolutely plummeting. Look at this thing on the ES right now, just down there to the 55s. The ES is literally plummeting right now. It's a huge plummet here on the ES. A huge plummet. Somehow the NASDAQ's holding up here. I don't get it. Tech stocks going to the moon. There's the 60s here on the NASDAQ now. After that, you got 55s down there. Whoo, baby, down to the 55s. Took a little short there. Finally got something going. From the 70s down there to the 55s. I took this right here. Took this thing short. Took this thing short right there from the 77s. Then got just basically stopped out 74s. And then I was like, saw it again. Took it from the 70s down there to the 55s finally. And still going lower. Obviously, it's going to go lower the moment I cover. But there we go. Down. Look at it. Now we're dumping finally. Come on. Look at this move. It's the end of the world, baby. Down there to the 40s now. Woo! Wow, come on. How did I fuck? Wow. I covered at 55 and it just fucking dumps another 20 points. Come on. Are we going to war? Is something happening? Is there news? Is Russia invading? What's happening? Pretty insane move down here. Wow. Look at it. Both the ES and the NASDAQ in absolute free fall mode right now. Free fall mode. Absolute free fall mode right now, my friends. Oh my gosh. It is a absolute free fall day. What a wild ride. Look at that thing. Had the signal to short here at the 80s on the NASDAQ. Down there to the 30s. Nice little 50-point move to the downside. Finally getting that move we were looking for. Like I said earlier, when the NASDAQ was pushing up there, remember when the NASDAQ pushed up here above the 300s again, and the ES was making new lows. Not that I'm going to tell you I told you so, but I was like, there's no way that the ES is going to go to keep pushing up here as the NASDAQ's making new lows. There's no way. And that's exactly what happened. The NASDAQ kind of faked everybody out, I think. Pushing back up there, squeezing shorts for a minute, and then dumping down there one more time. Is this a potential bottom? It's never a potential bottom until it's the bottom, right? We got a pivot point on the ES here. Pivot point down at the 46s. So 46 pivot point there on the ES possible. Right now 49. So 46 pivot there on the ES. And the NASDAQ's got a pivot point down there at the 200. So we threw that 50 area here on the NASDAQ, and the ES still looking dumpy here. Well, they sell this thing down there to 200 flat on the NASDAQ. $1 million question now. You can see the ES down there, 48s currently. 48.25. 33 the low so far. They eat through 33s next, and then you got 25s down there. 32s here on the book map. 30s sitting there. 25s coming up next on the book map there. You better leave. Ooh, I knew this haircut was going to pay off. Today was going to be a fucking battle. Today was going to be a battle, baby. I knew it. I knew it. I needed to get ready for war today. Oh, look at that rip back up. Absolutely insane. Some insane price action right now. Be careful, my friends. Very easily, you can blow everything up today. Very easy day to blow up here. If you guys haven't already hit that like button, we're live on YouTube. Let's go. Dance. I'm also just signed up for Rumble. I don't know if you guys have heard of Rumble. I guess it's like another kind of a. It's like another YouTube, less filtered, I think, or something. Less left wing. So Rumble hit me up and like, hey, we want you on our platform. I was like, I'll join your platform, but you got to put me on the front page of your website. So that's what I'm doing. And it's nice because all I do is just transfer all my YouTube videos over to Rumble. I don't have to do anything. It just automatically syncs up. So it's just free money, I guess. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Is anybody already on Rumble? You guys already on? Anybody already on there? I don't have any videos up there yet, but if you're on there, give me a follow over there. Put the link there. Link for my Rumble account. Hit me up on Rumble. The market's still selling off here. Will the NASDAQ search for that pivot point? There's that 200 pivot point here on the NASDAQ. Back down there to the 30s right now. Very volatile action right here. Holy crap. I haven't even looked at my P&L. Just been focused on the trading, but on the day right now, looking pretty good actually. I was kind of worried. I was like, oh, we might have some trouble here today. But on the day right now, we're up $2,722. $2,722. Zero losers. I had those two trades that I got stopped out of, but yeah. Zero losers on $2,000. I'll take that any day. I probably could have obviously maximized my profit maybe a little bit more here, but I'm happy with that either way. So still trading the 3 accounts as well, and yeah, not a bad way to start the day off here. Market trying to push back up here. We got that big old fair value gap here on the NASDAQ, possibly try to push back up into there, you know. You got the 21 EMA up at the 57s there. So if this thing starts to push up, maybe test that 21 EMA again here in the 50s, possible. On the 50s right now on the book map there as well. 250 there on the book map. Liquidity right now. No real liquidity to the downside. All the liquidity to the upside here. So the ES finding that pivot point down there at the 46s. Let's see if they're going to try to push this back up a little bit before heading lower maybe. All that liquidity there at the 50s. Let's see. I'm thinking they want to test that. Let's see. Or we just stay in the ultimate dumping mode here. And NASDAQ down there to the 30s again. Whew. This price action, my friends, it's wild. Absolutely wild price action here. Absolutely wild, wild, wild price action. Both the ES and the NASDAQ sitting here at the lows right now. Will they be able to find some support down here, or do we go lower, lower, lower? I would expect some type of pushback up here, but you never know. We're only down 0.5% on the day, so it's not really like that big of a dump so far. We got more room to go down. 200 down there, 13,200 pivot point down there. Possible if we continue to sell. Here on the NASDAQ, got the low of day now, 226.50. 226.50 low of day. That 50 area is still sitting there on the NASDAQ right now. I think if we break through that 225, we're going to the 200s next here on the NASDAQ. They got to hold that low there. They got to battle. The bulls got to hold it. They're going to try to keep this from going to 200 flat. They want to hold it here for now. Try to get a pushback up. Got that pivot point up there at the 250, what, 3s here on the NASDAQ. So on the 15-minute chart right now, sitting down there at the lows on the NASDAQ and on the ES here. Big old bear flag as well. And through the lows now, I'm expecting this move down there to the 200s next. Oh, or they chop it. Oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. Two 10s, two 15s. Here we go, 200 flat here. Breakthrough 200 possible. 205s on the book map there now. Both the ES and the NASDAQ in free fall mode. Free falling. She's free falling. Free falling. Ooh, baby, we're going to 200s. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me. 200s. 200, 205 getting tapped. Let's go. Let's go. Like I said, through the lows down there to the 200s, 225 to the 200s now. Can we break 200 flat? Let's see it. You see a little bit more to go. Hit that pivot point down there, 250 here. Looking like she wants to touch it. $200, $200, $200, $200, $200. Where's it at? The ES down there, the 39s right now. It's a absolute bloodbath here for the bulls. I don't think there's any bulls left. They've all left for the day. They went home. They gave up. The bulls have given up. Down there, 205s right now at the lows here on the NASDAQ. Ooh, buddy. Bouncing around right now there at the 208s. Do they get the 200 break? Being stubborn here at the 205, they're sitting right there. They're sitting right there. This thing's going 200. Let's see. 200. Thank you very much. Come again, baby. Come again. Ah! Ah! He's too good. He's too good. God. You guys want to make money or you want to fucking be a little bitch? What do you want to do? You got two choices in life. Come join us. Come make the money. Or do whatever you're doing. I don't know. Go do something else. Go do something else. You're not cut out for this shit. You're not cut out for this life. I get my protein in. I gotta get fucking like 225, 230, 240 grams of protein per day. So I'm pretty much like every 2 hours trying to get some type of protein. It ain't an easy life, but it is a life that I live. You can see here. Where's it at? You can see right here my cover. Look at that. Getting covered there at the 202.25. And I shorted here. Shorted at the 225s there. Let's go. Look at that rip back up now. Oh my baby Jesus. When people tell me that the pivot points don't work, you know what I say? Uh-huh. Sure. Okay. Yeah, whatever you want to think. Whatever you want to think. Whatever you got to tell yourself at night. Look at this. On the dot right there. It is not a coincidence. It is not a secret. It is not luck. It is not... We're not gambling. We're not guessing. We're not trying to pretend that we know where we're going. We know where we're going. Look at that. 200 on the dot. The low on that candle. 200. Exactly. 13,200. The pivot point was 13,250 actually. I'm telling you, the haircut, man. It was, I needed it. Needed this haircut. Get the vibes going. On the day right now, I'm up $3,250. $3,250 on the day. Woo, baby. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What I really want to talk about here, though, is I think this is a great lesson, not even for you guys, but for myself. This thing still wants to, it looks like it still wants to go lower. If we break that 200 area next. Down there, the 200s again. You got 92s on the book map next on the NASDAQ here. But what I want to point out, though, is this right here. We talked about this earlier. When the NASDAQ was pushing up here above the VWAP, that 1300 area, that 13,300 area, we pushed up there. We're thinking to ourselves, like, we saw the ES making new lows. And it was like something was not right. Something was not right. And, well, that was what was not right. Look at that move. Almost a 100-point move. And we talked about, I wouldn't say we talked about exactly what happened, but we talked, about this idea of the NASDAQ just like having to start to sell off here after that insane move down. So Looks like the ES, the NASDAQ, trying to find some support down here right now, but they're trying to balance it. This is hold numbers, you know, they're doing, always going to be doing some weird stuff around these hold numbers. The low so far on the NASDAQ, that 97 area, I don't think we're done selling just yet. Look at the ES chart here on the 15-minute chart. Look at this thing. I don't know about you guys, but it does not look like a reversal just yet. Maybe some bounces, some dead cat bounces off the bottom here, but what a time to be alive. Tell you that. Absolutely madness today. Down there, the 200s again on the NASDAQ. They're holding that 200 area right here. And then down there next, 92s on the book map here. Pivot point wise, I mean, there's NASDAQ pivot point. The next one's at the 42s. I don't know if we're going to go that low, but I mean, you never know. We're still early in the day here. It's only 10:30 in the morning. You never know. We could go all the way down there to the 42s next. If you're a crazy person, maybe put a big bet on there. Get rich today. Just trying to get rich today, maybe. YouTube living. All right, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good on the day right now. Not bad day for me so far here. On the day right now, yeah, $3,372 on the day here. Happy times to be alive. $3,372 in profit today. You cut your hair, baby. You go to the top. Go to the top. Warriors only. This ain't no warrior trading bullshit. We're just warriors, and we gotta. No, I can't use that. I'm gonna be copyrighted. I'm gonna get a cease and desist from Ross Cameron. Ross is gonna email me. Hello, Patrick. This is Ross Cameron. I want you to know that I have a copyright on warrior traders, so you can't use that wording in your live stream. You're not allowed to use the word warrior. I got a copyright on it. Get the fuck out of here. I don't know if you guys remember, if you ever watched my lives, well, my YouTube channel for a while. Are we going to the 43s next? Oh my god, this thing is, guys, it's just straight down. It's straight down right now. It's straight down. Look at the ES right now. Look at, oh, the NASDAQ. Oh my god. Now the ES down there to the 130s. Look at this thing. What's amazing is the ES has only sold off since 9:30. It's only gone down since 9:30 this morning. Where the NASDAQ was kind of being a pain in the butt until about 10. And finally now we're selling. But if you guys aren't making a crap load of money today, you're doing something wrong. If you're having issues maximizing your profits, talk to Sage. Come join us in the Market Flow Trader community. Literally, I don't know how you couldn't make. This should be one of your biggest profit days in a while. After this move down, I mean, it was a free fall. It was a 100-point free fall. 120 points now. I got a business meeting today at 1 o'clock. That's what's fucking hilarious is I've got a business meeting today. I gotta literally like put on like a collared shirt and stuff and go to a business meeting at 1 o'clock, and I'm gonna walk in. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck did you do to your hair?" I say, "Listen, are we here to make money, or are we here to talk about my hair?" That's what I'm gonna say. When they ask me what I did to my hair, I'm literally gonna go, "Are you here to make money, or are you here to talk about my hair?" Because if we're here to talk about my fucking hair, I'm leaving. I'm here to talk about money. That's all I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm gonna look like such a bad. I'm gonna walk up into the fucking country club, sit down and say, "What's up?" Oh my, we might be going to the 40s. I might have predicted the future here. We might be going 142 pivot point there on the NASDAQ next. Insane price action today. These are the types of, I would say for the people trading the ES today, congratulations, you picked the right one to trade today. But after 10 o'clock, 35 minutes. It's been 30 minutes. And it's done nothing. I mean, you could have literally just closed your eyes and shorted after 10 o'clock and made money today. A lot of money. And yes, I would have to agree with Sage. At this point, yeah, maybe I wouldn't want to be chasing the bottom anymore here, but still, we're making new lows over and over. It won't stop. It can't stop. Look at the signal from earlier. From the 83s, 100 points, my friends. 100 points. Come on. What's so funny is like people love to hate, you know, like on indicators. They love to hate on like, oh, Patrick trades in hindsight. You know, everybody's got an excuse for everything. But it's like, how can you deny how simple this strategy is? And the best part is look at the MACD on this. The MACD since 957 has been bearish. Literally since 957, the MACD's been bearish there. Everything that our whole entire strategy is absolutely on point today. And look at it, we're still going lower. 68s now. You know? It's crazy. I'm mind blown right now. It just like blows my mind how anyone's gonna hate on this. Maybe you don't use indicators, maybe you trade whatever strategy you trade, but you know, I don't go around hating on everybody else. Maybe I do, but I don't go around hating on everyone else's strategy, but everyone loves to hate on my strategy. They're like, oh, Patrick just has no idea what he's talking about. He's leading sheep to the slaughter. That's what I love. And people think that I'm like, Patrick's leading you guys wrong. What I'm teaching you is the wrong way. You know? And look at it. We're still, I mean, there's that pivot point. That pivot point on the NASDAQ down there at the 140s. What? What the fuck? Oh my God. Someone just sent me a screenshot showing they made $150,000 today. $148,547. I better be getting a big tip for that. Somebody better be leaving me $1,000 tip. I'm only getting $1,000 tip. Times 3. Just imagine making I gotta step up my game. I gotta stop fucking around. I'm trading over here trading 3 contracts. Should be trading 50 contracts at once. It's time to step it up. 150K. One day. The funny part is like, if you really think about it, like if your strategy is, let's say you trade the 15-minute strategy. Let's just say you trade, let's go to the 3-minute chart here on the on the ES. And let's say you You trade a 3 minutes. This is the NASDAQ. Let's go to the ES. Give me the ES, you idiot. ES. Looking at the 3 minute chart here. I mean, your strategy on the ES today, if you're trading the 3 minute chart, let's say you shorted the open when we got denied there at the open. I mean, you could have just stayed short for this whole entire move down and gotten, 50 points here. 50 points on the ES. Just staying short with a simple, your whole entire idea would just be basically moving your stop down. Like if your stop's, at the high of previous candles, look, at no point would you have gotten stopped out here on this trade. At no point. This next move down, okay, now you move your stop to the high of this candle. Well, look at that. You move your stop to this next candle, look at that. Move your stop to this next candle, look at that. Move your stop to this next candle, there's literally, you would not have gotten stopped out for this whole entire move. Just moving your stop down. That's insane. The NASDAQ for sure would have stopped you out today. The NASDAQ was just not as pretty, but actually, let's look at it. Let me look at this. Since 10 o'clock, I think actually you probably wouldn't have gotten, if you would have shorted after the numbers here, and you would have just had your stop at the high of the previous, kind of candles. Yeah, man, holy shit. You would not have gotten stopped out on the NASDAQ either. Look at this thing. Oh my God. Just moving your stop down to the high of previous candles. You might get stopped out here, but at that point, you're up 100 points on this thing. Just goes to show you how important it is to, on these types of days when the market is just sell, 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 buy, 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 it's like you got to maximize profit. You got to make sure you're hitting those targets, baby. Keone, you want the charge? I do charge $5, baby. Oh. What about not trying to trade the news? Well, for the NASDAQ, you would have not traded the news. For the ES, you could have maybe shorted and then got out before the news. But for the NASDAQ, though, you can see the news came out at 10 a.m. right here on this candle. And it was just, yeah. I don't know. It's obviously always easy in hindsight, right? To look back and be like, what you could have done better. I look at my trades and I'm like, see, today is funny because today was one of those days where, I got stopped out. I kept moving my stop like into the money. And it's funny because if I would have kept my stop at break even today, this was actually really funny. If I would have kept my stop at break even today, I never would have gotten stopped out. But instead, I was moving my stop like down 10 points just to guarantee I lock in profit. So it's always the coulda, the shoulda, the woulda. But definitely interesting to think about. Because some days I'm always bitching and complaining. I'm like, damn it, I got stopped out break even. I got stopped out break even again. But today was a day where you could have just put your stop at break even and never gotten stopped out on those breakdowns. So it's always the coulda, the shoulda, the woulda. I agree. I'm not complaining that I'm in the green. I'm definitely not complaining by any means, but it's all about reflecting, right? Like as traders, we got to constantly kind of reflect on what we do and how we can improve and how we can be better and what can I do to maximize my profit. Because you think on a day like today, you're only going to get days like today where the market's going to just move straight down or straight up, once or twice, maybe once a week. Maybe, it's a rare thing. So I guess there's some news about some banks getting closed down today, or some more banking news today. Is that what's going on? There's something going on with the banks, right? Is that what the issue is? Yeah, FRC. They suspended trading on FRC today. Sage has been on the computer since 8 a.m. just making that money. We got some new stuff coming out with the Market Flow Trader community as well. We got Sage now a part of the Market Flow Trader community. If you guys want to learn more, there's a link there in the chat box. If you don't want to check it out, it's totally fine with me. I'm not telling you that you have to, but you know, if you're tired of fucking around, you're tired of losing money, you're tired of not having a strategy, you're tired of just not having the right tools, there's a link down in the chat box. Again, if you don't want it, you don't, and not forcing you. So don't get mad at me and don't complain. Like, well, Patrick, I don't want it. I don't want it. Okay, hey, no problem. I got nothing against it. But if you want it, there it is. So check it out. The NASDAQ still going lower, baby. We're going to the 40s, I think. We're gonna hit that next pivot. We're going to the 40s. That next pivot down there. The problem now is like it's just getting more and more dangerous to short here, I would say. Just getting look how far we are from the VWAP. You know, it's like if you're looking at this move right now and you didn't make money off of this 140 point move to the downside, and you're sitting here like right now thinking like, should I short? Should I short? Should I short? I'm like, well, you might be, it might be a little late to the party. You know, the party was up here, maybe in the middle, like this little bear flag right here was beautiful for a short opportunity. You see how tight it got right there. This is exactly like I talked about over the weekend. When the market gets nice and tight, like look at that. This is exactly what we were talking about that video over the weekend. If you're not watching the video, hit the subscribe button right now. Hit that like button as well. But look at how beautifully this bear flag just getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And there's your short. Bam! Short to the downside from the 34s down there to the 200 break. Another little push up there. I mean, that's just kind of a bounce off that 200 level. But in general, I mean, that's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for this very kind of tight area. Market's getting tight. You know, this is about a 8-minute move here. So we're going sideways. We're waiting for that breakdown. And then, woo, to the downside. So this is exactly what we're looking for. What a wild day, though. Love to see it. Love to see it. Hopefully you guys are all just sitting there fat with cash right now. And here we go into the 50s. The NASDAQ got that 142 pivot point down there. If you're still short, holy shit, you're the MVP of the day. Anybody still short from the 200 from the 300s? Anybody? It's that pivot point down there at the 40s is not looking too far away now. It would be funny if they ended up dipping this down today, crashing it down, and then tomorrow when the FOMC comes out, we rip back up to like 13,500 or something crazy tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to trade in the morning tomorrow. I'm going to just wait for the 2 p.m. I'm going to probably be live tomorrow like 1 p.m. That's what we'll do. We'll be live tomorrow like 1 p.m. for the FOMC meeting. I don't really see any reason to try to trade the morning. I know the good action is going to be after the 2:30 news. So I think that's kind of my game plan for tomorrow. If you're wondering, I think that's probably the best idea for most people. Save your mental capital, save your money for the actual good move after the FOMC meeting. Oh, I think we're going to the 40s. You know what's funny is, did we not? I think we like literally talked about that 40 level like 20 minutes ago, and I was like, that's pretty far down there. And look where we're at now. It's funny, like those pivot points kind of always seem like far away. You know, when you're at the 200, you're like 40 from here, like straight down to the 40s. I mean, that seems a little much, but there it is at the 50s now. I mean, there's not much reason to bounce here other than the fact of maybe just 50 kind of mentally bouncing, but there are a massive amount of contracts sitting there at the 50s right now. 73 contracts on the book map here on the NASDAQ. For the ES still making new lows. Get through that 120 level. You got that 15s coming up next there on the ES. The pivot points, there's a pivot point at the 14s. I think we're going to the fucking pivot at 42. Holy shit. It's funny because I remember like 20 minutes ago when I was like, there's the 42 level next, but I'm like, that's pretty far down there. I don't expect it to hit right away, but here we are. 47s. I'm still trading 3 contracts. Sometimes I trade 5 contracts, but the problem is with the express funded account with Topstep, you got to trade 3, like you're still limited by size. So it's honestly for 3 contracts on the NASDAQ across 3 accounts, it's 9 contracts total, is honestly probably like a really good kind of size for the NASDAQ, especially when it's like a day like today. Very volatile. You know, you don't need 30, 50, you don't need 40 contracts. You don't need 10 contracts to make money on a day like today. And there you go. Oh my gosh. 42s on the dot. Honestly, I'm kind of impressed right now. I'm not even impressed with myself. I'm impressed this market right now. Like we talked about there on the 3-minute chart, it's just been, you could have literally just rode this thing all the way down here. Wow. Wow. It's hard. It's that's the problem with day trading. Trading is very difficult because like yesterday we had crappy price action, and it was like one of those days where if you didn't take profit, you'd end up losing. Where on a day like today, if you don't take profit, you end up winning big, right? You could have literally shorted that move down and just sat here and been like, I'm not taking profit until I get 100 points. Like, today is a day where you could just get really, really greedy. Problem is, you never know when that day is gonna come. Because like yesterday, like I said, yesterday was choppy. It kind of, going into today, I was expecting choppy action. I guess, wasn't really thinking about the whole banking stuff, but yeah, total blindside in terms of the action here. But yeah, it's difficult to like one day have choppy, crappy price action, and then the very next day you're like, you got to switch over to like, hey, now it's time to go. Especially with that move at open too on the NASDAQ. I mean, the NASDAQ 15-minute chart at open, it was just crap. But again, good lesson here, knowing that numbers are coming out there at 10 a.m., just waiting until 10 a.m. And look at that move here on the 15-minute chart. Again, you could have shorted and just kept moving your stop down on these 15-minute candles off the highs every time. When that candle closes, okay, you basically, let's say you're short here from like the 300s. Okay, you're short here. Your target, you get down there below that pivot. This candle closes. Well, you keep your stop at the, basically up there or wherever you want it at. And as this candle closes here, now you got this candle closing. Move your stop down. Move your stop down. Move your stop down there. So that would have been, from the 290s down there to 177, 120 points. Just literally following those candles down. It's not rocket science, that's for sure. And you would have gotten, you would have locked in 120 points if you were just following this down. Now it's at the 50s. Wild. Whoa. Oh, one by one, I can get it on my own. Oh! Oh! I mean, it's, you would think at some point there'd be a reversal here, like some type of little bounce back up, but it has been a absolute bloodfest. I mean, I have to admit, you very rarely see 15-minute candles like this. It's like I said, in hindsight, it's obviously easy, but through the 40s now, the next pivot on the NASDAQ is going to be 13,000. I don't want to jinx it, but holy crap, 13,000 would be a pretty insane move here. But honestly, I don't think it's undoable. 13,083 being that next pivot down there. I mean, there's not much really going on over here on the left side. Oh. Shit's cray, man. It's cray. Shit is cray. What's funny is like today is a day, like today alone, one day, like this would make your whole entire month if you just went big and held it. If you saw this, if you had a strategy and you were just riding this thing. So it's like, you know, when I bitch and complain about me not taking profit, on a day like today, not taking profit was the way to go. But the problem is, you know, I would say most days are not like this. So when most days they chop around, you get chopped out or whatever, it's obviously hard looking at it in hindsight and being like, well, I could have held for 200 points. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. No one's buying. There are no buyers. Papa Chief made $5,000 today. He said he makes $5,000 a month with his real job. Today he made $5,000. Let's go. Got some iceberg buyers stepping in there, trying to pop it back up here. Look at that price action right now. On the NASDAQ. The ES holding that 115 level, trying to push back up here. On you. If you guys haven't already hit that like button, help me out. Blow up that like button, baby. Come on. Come on. Let's go. The NASDAQ, look at that iceberg buyer right there. 240 contracts, iceberger. A lot of icebergs down here. 843 contracts. 1429 now on that iceberg. He got filled. That might have been a short getting covered. It's funny because the ES is literally moving like the NASDAQ right now. The ES is moving like the NASDAQ over here. It just won't stop. It won't. Look at what's funny too is, like we said, that 15-minute chart right now. You think about it. All right. Now you move your stop to the high of this candle. That's 150 points. 150 points just moving your stop to the high of those 15-minute candles. I think the ES wants 4,100 here. On you. On you. Phew. I'm tired. I'm out of breath. I'm out of breath. Been a wild morning. Been a wild morning, man. 13,100 on the book map. 198 contracts there on the NASDAQ right now. Cheryl's gonna buy a new boat. Let's go, Cheryl. I want to come. Invite me. I want to go on the boat. I want to go on the boat. Is this finally going to push back up here on 15-minute chart and be a stop there at the 140s? I was just trying to think about that 15-minute chart, if this would have been... If we held through this whole move and just kept putting our stop at the high of these candles. Look at this fairy, just gap, 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 gap. Never give up on you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Whew, if you guys haven't followed me on Twitter, Instagram, my name's not Patrick Wieland, N-O-T, not Patrick Wieland, and then on Twitter it's Wieland Trades. Hit me up on there. Right now the market, trying to see if this is gonna be, would this have stopped us out here or not? Like, I'm pretending that I'm in the trade right now still. I'm pretending that I'm in the trade mentally. Would I have gotten stopped out if I would have just kept moving this stop down to the high of the candles? I guess really, technically, this should be stay here, but at this point, I would be like looking to take profit after a 200-point move down. Talk about a trend. Talk about trending market here. There's the trend. 2-minute chart. Look at this thing just whee to the downside here. I don't think you could draw much better trend line. Pretty wild. Pretty wild here. Edge 45, let's go. Pure entertainment, baby. Do we go down there the 13,100 level next here on the NASDAQ? 13,128. 13,120 there. The NASDAQ down 1.3% on the day. The ES down 1.7% on the day. Remember earlier, the NASDAQ was literally, I think, like flat on the day, and now we're down 1.3%, 4%. Here we go. Again, testing that low on the book map right now. There's a bunch of icebergs sitting there trying to support it here at the 15s. You can see they're actually like moving kind of up with that liquidity there. Interesting. Do. And pushing back up here, finally getting a little pushback up. Maybe a little retracement. That was basically an hour of straight down movement here. So at some point, the market's got to bounce back. At some point, you know, it's got to bounce back. Either way, congratulations, everybody tuning in. You guys are watching the right stream. First off, you made the right choice. The right choice, my friends. If you're sitting here with a lot of money in your pocket, you made a bunch of money today, even if you didn't make a bunch of money, even if you just had a good day, you're in the green, there's nothing wrong with walking away, taking your profit, and enjoying the rest of the day. The whole point of trading is not to sit here all fucking day, 9 to 5. The whole point is to hit it when it's hot, take your money, and walk away. I think people they end up I see so many people that this is always something that people talking about. They're like, well, I make money in the morning and then I sit there and I overtrade and I end up giving back all my profits. That is such a common issue for traders. I mean, I have that same problem. That's why I got to force myself to walk away sometimes, because it's so easy to sit there and just keep trading, especially if you make a bunch of money really quick and then you're like, well, I want to make more. You get greedy, right? That's just being greedy. But if you're sitting right now and you're up $100 on the day, you're up $500, whatever it is, and you're having a good day, it's better than your normal day, well, fuck. Walk away. Take that profit and run, my friends. Ooh, ooh, ooh. There's nothing wrong with walking away. I think sometimes it's almost just better to put that rule on yourself. Hey, 2 hours a day. I'm going to walk away. No matter what. 2 hours, I'm done. By 11 o'clock, I'm walking away. Nothing wrong with that. It's a great strategy to have. The thing is, if you can't make money between 9:30 and 11, then there's probably a really low chance you're going to make money between 11:30 and 1 o'clock. So think about that. Sometimes trading longer times, being in front of the computer for a longer amount of time does not guarantee you're going to make more money. It just also guarantees you're probably going to end up over trading and racking up commissions and doing stupid shit. So great way to think about that. There's nothing wrong with just taking profit, walking away. When you're in the green, walk away, my friends. I'm telling you, because I know from experience. I've been there. I know exactly what that is. How many times? That's the most frustrating thing. You make a bunch of money in the morning and it's really easy, and then you keep trading, you're forcing it. Right now, you keep trading this, and then it ends up squeezing back up. You end up getting stopped out. Then you're going on tilt, and then you end up going into the red. So, not saying you're going to go into the red, but it's happened to me too many times I can count. I can't even count how many times I've been up, a few $1,000s in the morning, and then I sit around, I lose $200, I lose $500, I lose $200, and before I know it, I'm back to break even on the day, and I'm like, holy shit, I just gave back all that profit. There's nothing worse. Looks like we're going to 13,100 though. Very much looks like that. 13,100 down there. 200 contracts on the NASDAQ right now. I don't know, it's very easy to get greedy, especially on a day like today. It's very easy to get greedy because you're seeing this big move and you're like, oh, maybe you didn't capitalize all the way. Maybe you didn't short all the way to the bottom like me. My last cover was at 200 and I thought that I was a genius. And here we are at the 32s. I have not shorted it since I covered. Should I have? Probably, but I also know, why? Why, if I can make $3,000 every day consistently over and over and over, that's a pretty good life. That's a good life. Think about that. That's what you got to think about. If I make $3,000 in an hour every day, pressing buttons on a computer, that's a home run life to me, at least. The problem is, I think, you know, with social media and everything, it's so easy to get caught up in this whole like rat race of trying to, you know, you got some kid on Twitter who's like, oh, I made $50,000 a day. And you're like, what? This 15-year-old kid made $50,000 and I only made $100. It's so easy to get wrapped up in this whole like, you know, dick measuring contest. Dick measuring contest. Even you think about it, even $100 a day for some people, like I know people that they've only ever lost money trading for years. So for them to make $100 a day consistently for like an entire month, like that's a step in the right direction. If just breaking even at the end of the month for most people is a win. So it's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. Don't get greedy. Just because you had one good day, don't go do something stupid. Don't go put on a bunch of size. Don't keep trying to short this thing. That's the problem now, is like if you're trying to keep shorting it, maybe it goes lower, maybe it pops up here. Trying to help you guys avoid all the mistakes that I used to do. You know, I would end up missing out on a big move like this, and then I'm sitting there like, well, you know, I'm gonna keep trading it, and then it ends up like chopping around down here at the bottom, and I get chopped up, and I end up losing money. So take advice from someone who's done it enough. I've done exactly that thing over and over. Trying to, you know, basically missing out on like the good move right here. And then down here at the bottom, I'm finally like, okay, I'm going to short. Okay, I'm going to short. And I keep trying to short these little tops. And then guess what? It fucking squeezes back up. So sometimes you got to know when to hold them, and sometimes you got to know when to fold them, baby. Fast Joey, best day of the month. Let's go, baby. It's only the what? It's only the second day of the month. Fast Joey, you got me. You got me good there, didn't you? It's only the second day of the month, you little funny guy. I was thinking like, wait, what day is it? And I was like, wait, it is only the second day of the month. Keone got the best day of his trading career. That's my boy. That's my boy. We're neighbors in Hawaii. Let's go. I mean, what's funny is like I could walk away right now, $3,000, go on vacation, come back at the end of the month, and I'd still be beating 90% of day traders with only one $3,000 day. You know, if I made $3,000 a day, I would still be beating 90% of the day traders out there. So that's what's kind of funny to think about. Like I could literally just walk away right now, go on vacation for a month, come back and be like, hey, I beat 90% of the day traders in the world with my one profit day. I could change it too. Oh, I think it's, like I said, I think it's time to just walk away, my friends. I see the thing is, like, I'm okay. If the market goes lower, I'm totally fine with that. Let it go lower. It doesn't bother me. But the problem is, like, if I end up trading right now and I try to short here, try to get long, whatever it is, and then I end up losing money, I'm not going to be okay with that. But if the market goes lower from here, who cares? I made my money. That's what people got. It's not about trying to get the whole move. It's not about trying to, you know, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. It's about making money and then just walking away, being done. Not thinking about the market anymore and just, I'm off to the races. What the fuck? You got to ask yourself, like, are you here to get rich in one day? Or are you here to get rich over the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, make money consistently? You know, if you're just trying to buy a lottery ticket, go fucking just buy a lottery ticket, because you're not going to get rich day trading in one day. I'll guarantee that right there. Been doing this long enough to know that you're not going to get rich in one day. So if all you're ever doing is swinging for the fences, be careful, my friends. Right now, this looks like it might want to try to set up for another short opportunity down to that hundreds. If it breaks the downside through, I'd say 27s or so, possibly dip down here to the 13,100 here on the NASDAQ right now. The ES, oh gosh, look at the ES here. ES also searching for the bottom right now. We got no more pivots on the ES. The 114 pivot right there was the last and final pivot. And you got 4,100, kind of that round number down there. So possibly getting that move down through here. There's that sell signal coming up with the indicator. But like I said, I don't love it. I don't love it here. It's just really hard for me to short here, knowing that we just had that big, massive move down. Like, what I'd love to see, what would be like a really good short here, if we somehow pushed like back up to the VWAP and then got denied at the VWAP. Well, then I'd be like, oh, I love that idea. Like, if we push back up to like 13,200 area where that pivot point's at, that's where I want to, like, if I want to be shorting, like, to get more confident in a short, you know, I'd be like, you know, I'd be looking for like a area of resistance. Like right now, we're just kind of pushing back up, but we haven't like really got denied. So there's still like a chance that we kind of just chop around here some more. And you can see right now kind of pushing back up, even though we got the sell signal there. There's that, like, it's just not, it doesn't really, you gotta think too, it's like sellers want to sell high, buyers want to buy low. So the buyers are sitting down here. The sellers are not, they're not going to be as aggressive down here. They're going to be more aggressive if we push back up into that 13,200 area and get denied, because then it's like now the buyers are taking profit as well. So that's something to think about. Like if you're looking here at the 1 minute chart right now, like it just needs to be something. Like it needs to be a reaction, an action to the reaction here for the safer play. It can obviously go lower, you know, but is it the safest play? Is it the best odds, best strategy to try to short right here? I don't know. I'd say if we lose the 20s, we go to the hundreds. 20, yeah, well, the low so far is 16s there. But I think if we crack 20s, we'll test the lows and then go to the hundreds. But right now, again, look at that little bounce back. So it could just keep chopping here. They bounce it right off that 20 again. Was the low there? Yeah, 20 right there on the dot. Once again, bouncing off that 20 area. So. Oh. Oh no, Arnold, that's not good. It's not good, Arnold. What's funny is the dollar, man. The dollar has been selling off all morning as well. The dollar sold off hard. The ES sold off hard. The NASDAQ sold off hard. Normally it's kind of the opposite, but today the dollar selling off as well. And the market holding, look at that 120 area. Like I said, that 120 area, we break 120, we probably see the 13,100 area next, but that 120 is still holding up there. So just going absolutely sideways right now. She's just going sideways, man. Good time to not trade it. Good time to not trade. That 13,100 area on the book map just sitting down there right now. Will they break it? If you guys haven't already hit that like button, help me out, blow up that like button. 629 likes. I would be really appreciative if we can get like 700 likes here. 700 likes here. Oh! Through the 120s, down there to the 10s. Are we going all the way down there to the 100s? There's an iceberg buyer sitting there right now. Ooh. And this is exactly why I would not want to be shorting down here. Because of this exactly. That was definitely a trap right there. You can see on that 1 minute chart, they're trapping them down there. They're trying to. Once he was dinging me. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, they just trapped him. If they squeeze this back up right now, that was the obvious trap here. Possibly push back up and break through the 140s next. Hey, Papa Chief, have a good day, my friend. Make some money, go enjoy life, enjoy your family. That's what it's all about. If you guys make money in an hour and then walk away, there's nothing like, I know people love to like keep on gambling and trying to make money, but I don't know. There's something to just being able to walk away as well. Like having that mental fortitude where you're like, hey, I'm okay. Just walking away and being done. Nothing wrong with that. Got the 140 area up there next on the book map right now. Maybe she goes higher, maybe she doesn't. On that note, I'm going to walk away. I'm telling you guys to walk away. I might as well walk away. So if you guys haven't already hit that like button, subscribe button, you know what to do. I think Sage might be hanging out in the Market Flow Trader community chat for a couple hours after this. So if you guys want to learn more about Market Flow Trader community, there's a link there in the chat box right now. And yeah. Let's go. We got all the fun stuff going on here live on YouTube every morning. We'll be live tomorrow at 9. I'll probably be live tomorrow around like 1:30. We'll go live tomorrow at like 1:30 before the FOMC meeting. There's that push back up there to the 40s. They kind of did some playing the games down there. They trapped the shorts that were stupid enough to short down there at the bottom. I mean, this is a perfect example of basically a trap right there. They crack it to the downside, crack the lows, and then just rip it right back up there, and then now we push up here. So I would expect from here, kind of trying to maybe push back up a little bit, find some relief after that trap to the downside. You got the MACD. You can see the MACD kind of holding momentum there since we've been going sideways, so kind of setting up for kind of a pushback up here. And there's that push to the 40s now. I might not always be right, but I normally have a pretty good idea of kind of what's going on there. Especially after that trap. I mean, you get that trap like that, you're expecting that pushback up. It takes, it takes manipulation to basically get that trap like that. They dump it, and then they buy it right back up and squeeze it out. So the shorts, We're sitting there waiting for that break below the 20s. They got short right there. The buyer stepped in. They squeeze it back up. The shorts have to cover. You got to think all the shorts got their stops like right here too. The shorts are like, their stops are at the 30s, at the 40s, and look at us now at the 50s. So there she goes, back to the 50s. I'll see you guys tomorrow, 1 o'clock, 1:30. I'll kind of figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow. But there it is. If you guys haven't, hit that like button, subscribe button, all the buttons down below. Help me out. Blow up that like button. We got 701 likes. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know you got other options. You got other places to go, places to be, things to do. And hopefully you're enjoying the stream here. We're doing it live every day. So on that note, hopefully you guys are all green, and you're walking away with big fat pockets of money. And there's that push up there to the 50s. Kind of interesting to see. I don't know say I called that, but definitely nice to like be able to see that kind of action happening there. Got a feel for it. Got a feel for the market. Me and the market, we got a relationship, you know? I feel you, market. Look, there's some serious manipulation going on here right now. These iceberg buyers stepping up there. 255 contracts on the NASDAQ, 188 contracts right there. That's a pretty big buyer for the NASDAQ. So we'll see what happens. You got the 170, 167 liquidity sitting up there next. There it is. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace to the Middle East.